Right. So a very good evening to you guys. How are you guys? How are you guys today? Could you just put that in the chat? Had a good day? Right. Akasha Singh says hello. Akash says let's go. Are you guys excited? Yeah. Right. So before we start the session, let's go with a round of introduction. My name is Raunaq Gupta. I'm currently pursuing my MBA in Finance, and I'm from Calcutta. I had a commerce background. I have done my BCom honors from the Calcutta University. And apart from that, my SNAP percentile was 99.62.
A very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Anjali Chaudhary and I'm also from SCMHRD pursuing my MBA core in sales and marketing, and I scored a 99.23 percentile in my SNAP.
Hello everyone, this is Nikki Sharma. Here at SCMHRD, I'm pursuing MBA in HR, and in my SNAP, I've scored 99.44 percentile. It's really nice to interact with you here now.
Right. So since we have a lot of excited people in the chat, let's just start. Could we have the next slide, please? Right. So let's show you about a glimpse about SNAP 2023. First of all, the question paper pattern would remain the same. It's a 60-minute test in which there are 60 questions. There'll be 3 sections in the SNAP paper this year. There'll be general English, which is 15 questions, 1 mark each, so 15 marks. There'll be analytical and logical reasoning, which is 25 marks and 25 questions. There is quantitative data interpretation and data sufficiency, which is your maths, which comes for 20 questions and 20 marks, so that as well. SNAP allows you to give 3 attempts. You are allowed to give all 3 attempts, out of which the best score is counted. First of all, there is no normalization that happens during SNAP, so that is something that you should have the best benefit of. Since you are getting to give 3 attempts and the best score is counted, some suggestions would be to take as many attempts as possible for that as well. Next slide, please. So also sharing the SNAP timeline, you guys can see that the registration has already opened. It opened on the 23rd of August. So let's just see in the chat that how many people have already registered for SNAP this year. Could you just put that in this chat? How many of you guys have registered for SNAP 2023? Siddhanand says registered, sir. Utsav says yes. Mohit says yes. So if you guys, yes, I see a lot of yeses in the chat, registered for all 3 slots. Very good, Chidanand. So apart from this, if you guys have not registered, we have a QR for you, and you can save this. You can take a screenshot of this slide so that you can register for SNAP later. Apart from that, some of the important dates that are there, the registration closes on the 23rd of November, and this is a very important date. You guys should register as soon as possible. The payment closes on the same date. The admit cards would be live on the 4th of December and 9th of December for the 3 attempts. And the test of SNAP this year is the 10th of December for the first slot. The second slot takes place on the 17th of December, and the third slot takes place on the 22nd of December. The tentative result should be out by 10th of January. Can we have the next slide, please? So what should you be preparing for SNAP this year? Since there are 3 sections and some of the topics that you need to study for each subject are mentioned here. For English, you need to study synonyms and antonyms, fill in the blanks, idioms and phrases. You need to practice jumbled paragraphs or paraphrases, correction of errors, verbal reasoning. These are some of the parts that you need to study for verbal ability. For logical reasoning, you guys need to go through blood relations, arrangements, clocks and calendars, series, coding, decoding, visual reasoning, syllogism, which is a very important topic, critical reasoning are some of the topics that you need to study for logical reasoning. And apart from this, we have quantitative ability. You need to go through the topics of arithmetic, algebra, surds and indices, firms and comps, probability, geometry. And these are a very few of the topics that you need to go through. This is not a very comprehensive list. These are some of the important topics that we have mentioned and have seen in the past papers. So this is something that you can go through. Next slide, please. So before we actually discuss this slide, let's just talk about what certain myths do you have about Snap? What perceptions do you have about Snap? Let's put that in the chat window. Any myths that you have heard? Our Utsav asks in the chat, are all the slot levels same throughout? Yes, there is not much difference between the three attempts that are there. The question level are more or less the same. There might be a particular question that comes difficult in LR in one slot, while it is difficult in QA in the other one. But overall, the paper is same. The level of the paper is same, so there is no need to worry about that. There is no undue advantage that is given to any of the slots. I myself gave 3 slots last year, and I did not find any of the major differences there in any slot. Snap is a CADS oriented. Actually, just let me put that Snap is actually not very CADS related. You need to be thorough with your basics. Apart from that, it's a speed-based quiz. Since it's a 60-minute quiz and there is 60 questions, you need to be as fast as possible and as accurate as possible. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Right, so let's discuss about some of the myths that we have heard. It is an easy exam. As I just mentioned, SNAP paper pattern is slightly different than other management exams. It is the level of difficulty of questions is easier, but at the same time, you have to attempt them faster and your accuracy level needs to be higher. So that is something that you need to take care about when you are attempting your SNAP. SNAP preparation can be done last minute. Let me just clear this myth. It cannot. None of the MBA exams can be done that way. You need to be thorough. You need to give as many mocks as possible. At least 20 to 25 mocks are suggested before you actually sit for an exam, because mocks not only help you to analyze your papers, what are your strengths and weaknesses. So that is something you need to take care of. Entrance exam is easier for engineers. Again, a very big myth. I am a 99 percentiler who is sitting in front of you. I am from the commerce background. I have not been a very person who is towards the engineering side. So that is something that I'm standing right in front of you. Different slots have different difficulty levels. We have actually already discussed that. GEPI requires no preparation. We actually have a slide discussing about this, but let me just tell you, the GEPI process of symbiosis is very important. It actually has a 50% weightage, and that is something that needs to be taken care of. Can we have the next slide, please? So to discuss this slide, I would like to have Nikki, who will take over from here.
Thank you so much, Raunaq, and I hope Raunaq has burst some of your myths, guys, and even still you have some left. I think you can do it later on. And yes, I would like to talk about some insights for SNAP. So the first one being mock analysis and change in strategy is key in acing SNAP. So guys, you will find people telling you that, you need to take 30 mocks, you need to take 40 mocks, but I would tell you that, taking 40 mocks is not just enough, and it would all go in vain if you don't sit and analyze. You need to analyze every mock that you take, and you need to see what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And talking about the same setting, 40 mocks to take, it doesn't give you any, clear and achievable goal. So it's better if you have, proper set and clear goals which you can actually achieve and which will definitely help you. Can I please get the next slide? Yes, so the next one being don't let one question derail your progress. Again, emphasizing on that, SNAP is a time-based exam, guys, and they do test like how much time you're putting on one question. And there are trick questions. I'm assuring you that, there will be definitely one question which is made to derail your progress and, which will take up your time. So you need to be smart there regarding, you want to get into that or not. So by giving mocks, you can identify the strength and weaknesses, and by continually doing so and analyzing them, you can understand like what are the topics on which you can put in your time, and what are the questions you would not like to waste your time and you would like to move further. So identifying your strong topics and targeting them to maximize your score would be a great idea here. That like what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths, and this can only be done when you take mocks but also analyze them. Next slide, please. Yes. So simulate a distraction-free exam environment and practice in actual test conditions. So we tend to, I made this mistake. I used to take my mock sitting with my friends in a group, and then later on I understood that it is not a clear strategy. And it's better if you take it in a distraction-free environment where you don't have your phones involved. And I also suggest that you take it on your desktop, guys, because taking it on your phone do not familiarize you with the interface that is there, and at the end you have to take the exam on the desktop. And last but not the least, one good or bad score should not affect the process. So there are days where you score really good marks, so that should not give you overconfidence, and you should not stop preparing after that. And there are days when the scores are bad, and that also should not demotivate you, and you should continue doing that. We all have ups and downs, and we being aspirants, we have also faced this, so we understand that with stage you are in. But yeah, be consistent, and consistency is the key. Yes, so we have something really exciting that is coming up for you guys now, and it's chance for you to win certain prizes. Yes, so I would suggest you grab quickly a pen and a paper and a device so that you can scan the QR code. So this has 10 minutes and 10 questions. So we will find the winners based on the speed and accuracy at the same time. There's no negative marking, guys. You can try as much as you want, and you will have, you can see that you have 10 questions in 10 minutes. So that sums up to it, one question in 1 minute. So let's quickly send me a ready after you are after you are ready with your pen and paper. Yes, guys, so we see people are ready. So I give a few more time so that somebody else can also do it quickly.
There are exciting prizes that we have, so you guys should attempt this test. And it is a snap-based quiz. We have the questions are snap level, so that is something. I see quite a lot of readies here.
Also, guys, let's not forget that we also have winners, prizes for the winners. So give your best shot.
But yeah, definitely we will not announce the winners now. As soon as we are done with the quiz, we will announce them at the end of the session. So you will have to bear with us till then.
Rahul is ready. Himanshu Bhure ready. Brigu Pal is saying yes. Prakash Joshi says yes. Excited. So I hope you guys have scanned through the QR code. Let us know if you're having any difficulties. Remember the insights that we gave you, people. Like some of the insights were don't get stuck on a question. If you're finding any of the questions difficult, just move on because you do not have a lot of time. Apart from that, a suggestion for the QA, for the non-engineer specifically, you guys should try using the options to solve the answers. So that is just a method of solving questions faster and saving a lot of time.
Yes, guys, please use the method of elimination. Sometimes solving the entire question can take a lot of time. So you can just go through the options, see which ones you can eliminate, and that way you will be saving a lot of time, which you can use in the other questions. Guys, there's no negative marking, so I hope you're attempting all the questions.
Also, in the snap paper, there is no calculator that is allowed. So it would be nice if you people refrain from using such tools. It is just to get you in the zone so that you people are able to attempt snap in a better way. If you people are using calculators right now while solving questions, that will give you a bad habit. So that is something you should not use.
Yes, guys. So, being from a non-mathematical background, I also faced a lot of difficulties in QA, and I also sorted what are my weaknesses and what are my strengths in the topics, and which definitely helped me during my final exam. So I would sit on a question and check how much time it is taking, and then if it is taking more time, I would try to avoid the question in the final, and that's how I identified my weaknesses and strengths by taking different mocks and analyzing them at the end.
Some people are saying they are done with the quiz. Devesh will be giving the results at the end of the session, so stay tuned for that.
Guys, we only have a couple of more minutes left, so hurry up and try to mark all the answers since there's no negative marking.
Guys, so there are a lot of questions that are coming up in the chats, and we assure you that all your questions will be answered at the end. We have a Q&A session, and we will take up all the questions. So you can stay rest assured that your questions are not being ignored, and they will definitely be answered at the end.
Lovely Rajoria is having some problem with the QR code. Could you? I don't think a lot of people we have had some responses. Could you just try scanning the QR code again? We have 2 minutes left for the quiz. Keshav, the quiz is timed. We are monitoring the time, and the form would be closed after 10 minutes. There is only 1 minute left, so those who haven't submitted, please do that as soon as possible because we will stop accepting responses. So our 10 minutes are up and we'll be closing the responses now. Siddhanand is done with the quiz. Yes, we'll be sharing all our experiences for the SNAP paper and our personal experiences at SCMHRD. So stay tuned for that. So guys, let's just move on. Can we have the next slide, please? Right. So since we are done with the quiz and you people have performed flawlessly, let's just see how this affects you getting into SCMHRD. So talking about SCMHRD, SCMHRD was established in 1993. We are currently the 30th batch. We are also the Pearl batch. So the MBA program of SCMHRD is one of the most prestigious programs in India. We are among the 5% of B schools in the world to have been accorded with the prestigious AACSB accreditation. Now, AACSB accreditation stands for Association to Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business. So this is an accreditation that is given to only the top-notch B schools in the entire world. There are currently only around 950 B schools that have been accredited with this thing. And it is basically given for the research-oriented curriculum that is there at SCMHRD. Apart from that, we have top-notch faculty from the industry. And that is something that is about SCMHRD. Next slide, please. So now Anjali will be taking over.
All right, thank you, Raunaq. So next we'll be discussing about the courses that are offered at SCMHRD. So as you can see, there are three major courses. Number one being the MBA core, which has specializations of human resources, sales and marketing, finance and operation. The second one is MBA in business analytics. This is for people who are interested in pursuing their career in analytics. It also needs a minimum of 2 years of work experience in order to get into this particular course. And the third one is MBA in Infrastructure Development and Management. As you can see that we have also mentioned the intake of these courses, and we have kept it very limited. We try to take the best talent throughout the country. So the core batch has an intake of 180, followed by BA, which has an intake of 90, and IDM has an intake of 60. Can we move to the next slide, please? All right, so let's discuss about the selection process at SCMHRD. So as my fellow panelists just mentioned about SNAP test. So SNAP test is a major part of the selection process. It makes up for the 50% weightage of the scores that will be considered in order to get an entry into SCMHRD. So whatever marks you score out of 60 will be scaled down to bring it out of 50, and that will be considered for the first half. Coming to the second half, we have two parts, which is the group exercise as well as the personal interaction. Now, what we need to observe here is that it is a group exercise and not a group discussion. So we need to approach it as such. Herein, you will be given either a case or a situation from the industry, wherein you have to discuss with your group, collaborate, and come up with a solution using different filters. So GE or group exercise makes up for the 10% of the weightage, followed by PI, which is also a personal interaction as opposed to a personal interview. So it is a very casual interaction wherein the panelists just want to understand you and want to see you for you, what you stand for, what are your values, who you come as a person. So that makes up for the 40% weightage. So cumulative. Together, we can say that SNAP test has 50% and GEPI has the other 50%. Can we move on to the next slide? Yes. So here is the batch profile for the MBA core batch. We can see that we have quite a bit of gender diversity here, wherein we have approximately 70% males and 30% females. The average age of students here is 24.2 years, and the average work experience is 12.5 months. You can also see that here the academic backgrounds are mentioned of the students, and we see a huge variety in the academic backgrounds of the students. We can see that there are engineers, there are also people from commerce backgrounds, from science backgrounds, arts, and others. In our entire batch as well, we have students who have been lawyers in the past, who have been dentists in the past, doctors as well. So we can see that we have a great variety of students here. Can we move on to the next slide, please? All right, we have here mentioned the batch profiles for MBA IDM as well as for MBA BA, which is Business Analytics. So we can see that here as well, we have a lot of gender diversity, wherein in IDM, we have 76% males and 24% females, with an average work experience of 16.8 months and an average age of 25.3 years. Moving on to BA, we can see that we have an average work experience of 36.3 months. Now, the reason here for the average work experience being on a bit of a higher side is, as I mentioned, that you need to have at least 2 years of work experience in order to apply for BA. Therefore, the average work experience is 36.3 months. The average age of students in BA is 26.6. And even here, we have a gender diversity of 74% males and 26% females. Can we get the next slide? All right. So we know that we do MBA for a variety of reasons, not just for upskilling ourselves to get knowledge of the field, to understand businesses, but also for placements. And here we have the statistics that are really, really good. And to begin with, I would like to share with you the statistics for MBA core batch. We have both the summer placements as well as the final placements of the batch of 2022-24 and the final placements of 21-23 students. So we can see here that in summer placements, we have a highest stipend of 4.4 lakhs, which is incredible. The average stipend is 2.52 lakhs, bringing the median to 2.40 lakhs. We also see that the percentage increase in the average has been of 32.63%. So we can see SCMHRD as a brand is growing vastly, and that also shows in the numbers. Moving on to the final placements of 21 and 23 batch, we see that the highest CTC, that was an international CTC, was of 67.60 lakhs. The average CTC offered was 23.71 lakhs, bringing the median to 22.00 lakhs. Can we move on to the next one? Yes, we have here the summer placements and final placements reports of business analytics. So first looking at the summer placements, we see that the highest stipend that was offered was 2.50 lakhs. Average was 1.51, bringing the median to 1.60 lakhs. We also can see the final placements of the 21-23 batch, wherein the highest CTC that was offered was 33.61 lakhs. The average was 22.03 lakhs and the median was 21.00 lakhs. So as you can see that we have incredible placements in all the different specializations. Moving on. Yes, coming to infrastructure development and management, we can see that the summer placement report of 2022-24 shows that we had the highest of 1.6 lakh stipend with an average of 0.92 lakhs, bringing the median to 0.80 lakh. Moving on to the final placements of the 21-23 batch, we see that the highest CTC that was offered to the students was 27.00 lakhs, average was 16.11 lakhs, and the median was 15.3 lakhs. All right, can we move to the next slide, please? All right, so quickly, can you guys please put in the chat box some of your dream companies? Like before even starting the preparation of MBA, you must have had some company in your mind that, I want to be a part of this company or that company. Can I see a few responses in the chat box, please? Aditya Birla, ABFRL, good. Akansha says EY. Virendra says BlackRock. Okay, so as you can see that we have quite a bit of Aditya Birla fans here. Google, Chidanand says Google. So yeah, we have quite a nice variety of recruiters that we've put here. We definitely have more recruiters, but bringing all of them on board was on one slide was really difficult. So we have here some of our prominent recruiters. Amongst this, you can see that we have Amazon, we have Aditya Birla, as a few of you wanted. So yes, Shifali and Brigu, if you want Aditya Birla, we have Aditya Birla. We also have Cipla, EY, Optum, GSK, Hilti, ICICI Bank. We also have Flipkart, Godrej. So whatever you want, whatever companies are your dream companies, we have them covered, we have you sorted. Moving on to the next slide, please. All right, so this is our attempt of bringing a little bit of our SCMHRD to you. So we have collated a set of pictures from our various favorite spots throughout the campus. And as you can see that we have a TT table, we have an auditorium that has a capacity of 500 plus students. We also have the famous Simbi Eats that is present across various Symbiosis institutes. We also have a swimming pool, we have a gymnasium, and my personal favorite is the urban katta for students who study late at night. This is our life savior. We have our late night meals in urban katta. So this is just a short glimpse of what life at SCMHRD looks like. All right, moving on to our illustrious alumni. So students who have passed out of SCMHRD are working in various fields across various domains in supreme companies, and bringing all of them was really difficult. So we've tried to put a few here just to familiarize you with them. So any Shark Tank fans over here? Anyone who watches Shark Tank on a regular basis, who has seen one of these peoples appear on the show? Can we see it in the chat box, please? All right, so yeah, a few of you guys recognize. All right, so Chidanand says Hapilo was on IPL. Yes, it was. Dhanush says me. Okay. So yeah, Brigu says it's Vikas Nahar. Yes, you guys got it right. Okay, Dhanush says RCB sponsor Hapilo. So you guys know about it. Yes. So you're right that Vikas Nahar, who is also the founder and CEO of Hapilo, appeared on Shark Tank. He's one of our alums. Other than that, we also have Bhuvnesh Joshi, who's Senior Vice President of Ogilvy. Atulya Goswami, who is HR Director of General Mills. We also have Sonam Mahapatra, who is a playback singer. So as you can see that students who have passed out of SCMHRD have gone ahead in life and worked in various domains at various positions, which are great positions in very, very good companies. Moving on. Yes, so this is something that we're coming up with, SCMHRD Zeal 5.0. So any of you guys have any idea about what case competitions are? Have you heard of it? Have you participated in some of them? Any clue? Okay, Brigu says yes. Dhanush says yes. So a few of you have heard about case competitions. So SCMHRD Zeal is our attempt at bringing a case competition to you. So there are 3 rounds that will be conducted, and the entire process will happen on Unstop. So Unstop is a platform that a lot of these schools use in order to put out competitions for students. And this SCMHRD Zeal is free of cost. So you can actually scan the QR code over here and register for the competition. And the incentive here is you get cash prizes worth rupees 10,000, and you definitely have a pointer to add in your CV, which is going to boost your CV. So as you can see, I'll be explaining a little bit about the competition. So the competition will be conducted in 3 different rounds. The first one being an online quiz. It is going to be slightly similar to the quiz that you just did, with an addition of it will have negative marking as SNAP does. So it's a mock SNAP, basically like a very similar to SNAP pattern, wherein you will be having 30 minutes, 30 questions, and the topics will be QADI, VARC, and LR. Students who have passed the quiz will further participate in this case study competition, wherein you will be given a business case study and you have to work on that case study and try to identify the problem and how you will be solving that, and you will be coming up with a proposal as to the solution of the problem. So students who present, who are really good in the case study submission, they'll be actually invited to our campus. So you can come to our campus, see what a day at SCMHRD looks like. You'll be able to present your case in front of a panelist of judges, and they'll be evaluating you based on your solution. And the winners will definitely be given cash prizes worth rupees 10,000. And also, not just that, you'll be able to see what the campus looks like. You'll get a feel of SCMHRD, about how students function from morning to evening. The various spots that you saw in the picture, you'll be able to see it in real life. So I feel like this is a great opportunity, guys. And remember, the last day to register is 16th September. So we don't have like a lot of time left. So I urge you to scan the QR code and register as soon as possible. All right. Can we move to the next slide? All right, so here we have mentioned various social media handles for you. So you can scan the QR code and access all our social medias. And the reason I would like to urge you to join these is because we have various campaigns running on these handles, which will give you a little bit of insight and also help in your preparation for SNAP. We have various campaigns, like we have Wordy Wednesdays, we have APR Weekly. There are a lot of other campaigns that will help you strengthen your areas of QA, VARC, and everything. So yeah, we have it all covered for you. Please join in. So guys, we will now be taking questions. So whatever questions you have, if you have not put it yet, you can put it in the chat box. We'll start answering them one by one as much as we can.
So people have asked a lot of questions in the chat. One of the questions that I see by Dhanu Sikri is, which slot is best to give? There is no particular slot, as mentioned, that the level of the questions in all of the three slots are more or less the same. So there is no preferred slot, but as I have said, you should register for as many, because that is maximizing your chances for coming here at SCMHRD. What was the cutoff last year for SCMHRD? So there is, to give a rough idea, I could say that if you are getting more than 98 percentile, that is a safe spot at SCMHRD.
All right. One of you, Akash, has asked a question: will GK come in SNAP? So Akash, GK won't be a part of the SNAP question paper, but I would urge you to be well acquainted with GK, because it might come in your personal interaction round, wherein you can be tested upon the specialty you're going in. So it is good to know the current affairs. So I'd urge you to learn about GK and also current affairs for the personal interaction.
For that, you could go through our campaign called APR Weekly, in which we do share a lot of news on the news that is prominent during those days. We do that on a weekly basis, and the posts are coming on every Sunday. So that is something that you need to be stay tuned for.
Yes, guys, and we see questions like how to start the preparation. So I would suggest you that you check, do you check the slide where we have the syllabus, so you can check upon where, you know, there are different books available, and we also have different mocks which are available. And coming up in the future weeks, we also will have, you know, we will be sending you model, the different questions which we can which will help you in the exams. And we have different set of campaigns as well, as Anjali has mentioned, which will give you a slight idea about how it can look like, and you can prepare well for that.
All right, moving on to the next one. So Chidanand has asked, is there normalization of score? So Chidanand, no, the answer would be no, that there is no normalization as such. And the reason for that is, across various attempts, we try to keep the questions at the same level. So if you actually get a better score in one of the slots, even after giving like all the three slots, the better score would be considered in order to get the percentile. So yeah, to answer your question, there is no normalization of scores.
There's another question that I'm seeing is that I'm from a mediocre university with average ACADS. So my question is that, does SNAP college pay emphasize on ACADS after meeting the required cutoffs? If yes, then how much? So to answer this question, the most concentration of yours should be on clearing the cutoffs and your SNAP exams, because ACADS do not, they do not clearly, we cannot state as in how much emphasis they have. So it should, mostly we check on how much is your, CV and what are your cutoffs, and then we have 50% weightage of GE and PI. So that also matters. So if you have scored little less on a CAT, that should not be a problem, as long as you are able to perform well in the GE and PI.
Okay, I see a question from Murtaza, who has asked, I decided to give SNAP this month and I'm confused, where should I start from? To answer your question, Murtaza, you should definitely start with your basics. You should practice English. You should go through your formulas that are there for the arithmetic, algebra, and the various topics we discussed. And apart from that, you should, as mentioned, you should give as many mocks as possible. You should practice your questions. So that is something that you should do. I personally had a very question-oriented pattern of studying. So I used to just solve a lot of questions, at least 100 to 150 questions a day. So that was something that I went through. So you could definitely do that.
There's another question by Dhanush asking how many mocks to give. So that totally depends upon how much time you can, spend on analyzing the mocks and taking the mocks. So somewhere talking about my experience, I had taken 15 to 20 mocks, and I had analyzed them properly, and I had differentiated as in what are my strengths and weaknesses. So once you're able to get the hang of it, I think you're good to go.
Yes, so a lot of people have asked about the experiences that we have on the Snap day and at SCMHRD. So on the day of the Snap, you should be as confident as possible because you have done what you can. You have studied for everything. And so that is the thing. You should not be nervous. I know it is easier said than done, but that is something you need to take care of. You should be confident. You are prepared. So you should just make a small ready reckoner or something that you have for the formulas and all, and just go confidently. You are going to ace the snap. So that is something that I can tell you about. Apart from that, at SCMHRD, we have various events that go out throughout the year. We have something or the other going on campus every single day. We have 14 clubs and committees on campus. So that is something. Apart from that, SCMHRD is a fully residential, the MBA program at SCMHRD is a fully residential program. You have to stay on campus. So that is a way to connect and network with a lot of your batchmates. So yes.
Also, there's a question by Virendra wherein he's asking that will our past grades matter? So SMHRD basically gives you a clean slate in terms of that. Whatever be your background, whatever be your scores in academics in your 10th, 12th and UG, it does not really matter. What matters is what you're able to score in your SNAP test and how well you perform in your GEPI. If you're sorted in all of these three areas, you'll be good to go and you can definitely come into SMHRD.
There's another question by Rahul. He's asking, he has done his graduation in zoology. Will it hamper my chances at SMHRD because we see there are usually all engineers in every colleges? Rahul, I'm sorry to say, but that is not how the case is. We have people from various backgrounds, and even now in our batch, we have people from, lawyers, we have dentists, and zoology being one, and there are people from media as well who have done their graduation in mass media and communications and still they're here. So I think the graduation and the area doesn't matter. SMHRD believes in diversity and it is nice to have different people on board.
Brigu Pal has asked what are the topics to cover for PI. Some things that you could prepare for PI, Brigu, are you need to be thorough with the news that is there. That is the relevant news that is there. You should be reading newspapers. How many of you are currently reading newspapers every day? You could just put that in the chat. Apart from that, you should also be reading editorial sections in the newspapers. So that is something that you could go through because those are from various topics that help prepare for GE as well as your PIs. Apart from that, you should be very confident with such questions such as introduce yourself, what specialization you want to choose, and why SCMHRD. So that is something you could prepare for when you want to cover for PI. So yeah.
Also, there's a question from Sovik asking, what is a safe raw score out of 60 for SMHRD call? So, Sovik, I would like to say that there is no fixed score that is a safe score because what actually matters is the percentile that you achieve. And I can say that a good percentile would be anything above 98 percentile. So, you should actually aim for as much percentile as possible, but above 98 is a good score to have, and the actual marks out of 60 would actually vary depending upon the performance of the entire batch who's giving the snap exam. So I could not actually say the exact marks, but yeah, 98 plus.
There is a question, are we given the freedom to choose between the specializations or are we allocated specializations based on our first semester scores? Yes, this is a very pertinent question that is there. To answer this question, I would like to say that you are given a choice of your specialization in the first semester. Though it is a general semester, you have to study all the subjects where you are getting to know the basics of every specialization. The specialization choices get effective from the second semester onwards. One more benefit at SCMHRD that you get are the subjects you can select various electives from different specializations for MBA core. So, for example, if I'm a finance student, I can select employee benefits and compensation schemes, in which is a topic for HR. So that is something the benefits of SCMHRD curriculum.
One of you have mentioned that how are alumni important. So I feel like networking in general is very important when you come in a B school, because that opens up doors. As you saw, that our alumni base was from varied backgrounds, from different companies. So if you have reach in different companies, it would help you in your career. Whenever you need help about a specific field, you can reach out to them and you can get to know about that field. So I feel like alums are very, very important, and creating that sort of network is also very important.
Yes, apart from that, to add to what Anjali said, alums are very important. Yes, we get a lot of alums who come to campus to interact with us personally. To also specify how important this is, our induction was personally taken by Mr. Vikas Nahar. So that is something we got to personally interact with him. We got to ask questions. So that is something that was done. We had Mr. Atulya Goswami, who's the HR director at General Mills. So we also got to interact with him apart from various alums. So that is something when alums are performing well in a company. So that is something that is the benefit of SCMHRD. So yes.
Okay, there's a question that any work experience is required for normal MBA. So the answer to that question would be no. It's not compulsory to have work experience. We have a very nice distribution in terms of freshers as well as the work ex people. So even if you don't have any work experience, you can still get into SCMHRD and do equally well.
Someone has asked, when 3 of you got more than 99 percentiles, and why none of you got into SIBM Pune? This is a very good question, but I'll still answer it. So personally speaking, when I chose finance, so that was something that came into my mind. SCMHRD is CFA affiliated, so you get a very big scholarship that when you are actually registering for CFA. Apart from that, we have Bloomberg access that is there. We have terminals available at campus. So that is something. Apart from that, we have very good placements for finance. So apart from the faculty that isn't very industry specific, so that is something which made me choose SCMHRD. I cannot comment on SIBM Pune because that is a sister college. So yeah.
Yes, so I see another question by Rohit that I don't have my cumulative result with me, so how should I calculate my aggregate percentage? So answering that question, while you are filling the form, it gives you an option that you still haven't received your scores and you can put your aggregate, but the aggregate should be according to the university standards that you are already studying in. So given a proof that you have it written in the format that your university has prescribed with, I think you're good to go.
There are a lot of questions about SCMHRD zeal that we see in the chat. So to answer that, yes, attending case study competitions before you are actually getting in does help your CV a lot, because case study competitions are something that we spend most of our time at SCMHRD. So yes, that is something. Case study competitions are very important. If you are attending case study competitions before you're actually getting in, that benefits you a lot. This is a CV pointer that you have. So yes.
All right, so now we'll be moving to the part that you guys must have been waiting for, which is announcing the quiz winners. So just give us 1 minute, we'll be getting back to you. All right, so firstly, I would like to say great attempt, guys. We got a lot of responses and a lot of accurate responses, and you guys didn't even take a lot of time to solve this. So kudos to you guys for that. And the winners are Devesh, Devesh, like Devesh, and Akansha Singh. So congratulations, guys. Both of you got a 10 on 10, which is a perfect score. Great job. And you will be receiving your goodies really, really soon. So yeah, congratulations.
Our backend team will be contacting you on your email ID, so stay tuned for that as well. And yes, so you could follow our social media handles if you need any more help. You could also follow our campaigns, which we post regarding various subjects for the VA, LR, and your fonts. So that is something that you could stay tuned for. Apart from that, we have various other campaigns coming up, so you should follow our social media handles. So thank you guys. It was a very interactive session. Thank you, Shrikant, sir, for hosting.